stealing away the treasure of his spring. For such a time I do now fortify against confounding age's cruel knife, that he shall never cut from memory my sweet love's beauty, through my lover's life. His beauty shall be in these black lines be seen, and they shall live, and he in them still green. Now that is powerful writing, meaningful imagery, and thought-provoking script. You all, I'm sure, agree. Now, although this type of work is timeless, I believe it has been poorly produced in excess. This misuse of such inspirational work diminishes all value and meaning, and leaving a growing nation of enthused artisans waiting. Now, with the lack of interest growing for classical theater, a completely unconcerned, mindless generation of theatergoers were missing out or overlooking the stylistic grace of classical theater. Now, Soul Pepper Theater saw this, and they realized that they need to take a stand in Toronto. They need to do something down where the powerhouses are seen here in Canada. Thankfully, 12 years ago, 12 artists developed their trade and founded Soul Pepper Theater Company, a theater company devoted to honor and hopefully preserve idealistic theater projects and performances such as the works of Samuel Beckett, Anton Chekhov, and Shakespeare, who wrote the sonnet, like I said, I used for my opening. Like in the last couple lines, his beauty, he wrote, "His beauty shall live in these black lines be seen, and they shall live, and in them still green." Now, Albert Schultz and the other 11 co-founders must have shared Shakespeare's views about how we live on in our text. I have a little background behind Soul Pepper, if you guys would like to watch a movie for a second. This is a little history that they have. Is my lights on?
Full screen.
There was something, there was a zeitgeist, there was a need, we hit with a particular idea, a particular time that we articulated with a particular kind of passion that caught fire. And this was really an experiment, a brave, crazy experiment in creating a community of artists, a community of administrators, a community that is our audience, and it's grown and grown and grown, and these communities have branched out. I think one of the major ingredients that got Soul Pepper off the ground in that first year was ignorance. We would come up with crazy ideas, and because we didn't know not to say no, we just tried them. That spirit of why not, and let's find a way to try, has served us really, really well. One thing we knew right off the top was you can put on a play and you can get your family and a few friends interested, and if you're lucky you can get a few more people interested, and they'll come and the play will run for a couple of weeks and then you're going to start all over again. Or you can put on an idea, and that is something that you can get people excited about.
The idea was to have a classical company in Toronto. We had classical companies 2 hours out of Toronto, but we had nothing in the city.
There was a need. We didn't even know, or at least I didn't know, that there was a strong need in Toronto for a classical theater company. We all met together in '87 at Stratford under the guidance of Robin Phillips, who had run the Stratford Festival for many years. We bonded really well and were mentored by him, which I think has a lot to do with why we wanted to continue working together, because we all had learned together from a master director.
It's very hard to create art with strangers. What Soul Pepper does is to create an environment that's permanent enough that once the artists are part of the company, that sense of trust grows.
it was very necessary that a new generation take on a responsibility to make sure that that the rigor that we benefited from is passed on.
We talked through the ideas of education and youth outreach, and all the things that we could do for the community.
We began this notion of training from day one, of training artists for the rigors of the classroom. And that is what has led to this really exciting initiative of the Soul Pepper Academy. 10 people are paid to come and grow, but also to give back to this company and to challenge this company to raise to their level. And that giving takes.
Our programs in schools are about artists, like adults, taking the kids to art, passionate about Hamlet or Midsummer Night's Dream, letting them experience it in the way that we would.
We're trying to explore their voice, who they are, what they care about, what they're passionate about.
The arts is about memory. How do you explain why art reaches some people and some not? I think it has a lot to do with when it was introduced to them. So this mission that lots of young kids get that introduction.
They keep together this group of actors and became a theater company, an ensemble in modern sense. The way they produce classics is very, very rare for this part of the world. This is the thing which made this company so famous.
I am working with people that I have worked with for many years now, so have a shorthand of each other.
To become mature as an artist in the context of a community is a very, very rare opportunity.
Alright, so I was just going to read those off as they ran through. The founding members of Soul Pepper, as you can read: Martha Burns, Susan Coyne, Ted Dykstra, Michael Herron, Stuart Hughes, Diana LeBlanc, Diego Matamoros, Nancy Polk, and Robin Stephen, and William Webster, and then the current artistic director and one of the founding members is Albert Schultz. Now, they founded Soul Pepper in 1997, like they said, and the first season of Soul Pepper saw the production of Misanthrope by Don Carlos, and that saw great reviews. Obviously, they're still around today, and they've just been given all kinds of encouragement and energy to keep going with what they're doing. Now, from then on, Soul Pepper has produced over 100 plays and even performed in a few local public schools to do some kind of like an outreach program to try and get younger kids involved. Now, in 2000, with the help of George Brown College, Paul Carter, the Dean of Business and Creative Arts, started with Soul Pepper, collaborating towards a training facility like they spoke of in the movie. In 2006, the Young Center for the Performing Arts opened in the Distillery District of Toronto, which is just a little bit off the lakefront. As you can see, it's Market Day. A great location, wonderful for people to come down to, right, with all kinds of parking and transit and all kinds of streetcars and subways and stops right up front. Soul Pepper has always been very committed to being community engaged, and they, as they state themselves, strive to play a significant role in the development of future generations of theater artists. As a direct cause of this enthusiasm and vigor, Soul Pepper Academy was founded in 2006. A paid training program, like they said, with residency, takes 10 artists in a 2-year skills development program and then performance-oriented schooling session, much like the program we have here at Canadore, and then gets them up on the stage with the rest of the Soul Pepper company. The students participate in workshops and classroom sessions and eventually are on the main stage and create in their second year a culminating collective creation put on by the Academy. Soul Pepper holds auditions through an invitation-only process, but they do accept resumes year-round with headshots. They only accept submissions through post, and if any of you would like it, I have their mailing address here if you'd like to see me after class, or I can put it on the board if enough of you would like it. And any required texts or verse would be requested upon your invitation. As I'm sure you've noticed, Soul Pepper is a classic-oriented theater, classic focus company who maintains their organization through constant local support, government subsidies, and corporate advertisement. Soul Pepper's goal and mandate is in the form of a three-tiered mandate. They first would like to present the world's greatest stories in vital Canadian interpretations. Secondly, to train a new generation of theater artists. And thirdly, to inspire and enrich youth through mentorship and the access programs they provide. Now, Soul Pepper will be showing Glengarry Glen Ross by David Mamet with William Webster, Jordan Peddle, and Albert Schultz until June 12th. And actually, it was supposed to only run until the end of May, but seeing as they've had such great reviews and turnout, they're putting it on for another 2 weeks, I guess. And then they will be showing Death of a Salesman this summer by Arthur Miller, and Waiting for the Parade by John Murrow, which have both unfortunately already been cast, but who knows? Maybe one of you will join them in the cast for the 2012 fall season. Just get your headshots in. Yeah. It'll be good. Now I'd like to finish by stating, just to ask yourselves, you're trying to get into the theater project and you're trying to get yourselves out there and working. How do you want to preserve our roots and honor the forefathers of our craft? Would you like to preserve them in dusty old books, asleep on the shelves of dark haunted libraries, or breathing, alive and free on the stage they lived for? It's the conclusion of my presentation.